What's up, guys, and welcome to another video where I'll be discussing some great ways to burn fat in just a short period of time. Along with that, hold on, let me take a quick break. Take this real quick. That's hot. Yeah, that's hot. I burn myself. It's good though. It's good. Along with that, some other supplemental effects that we'll be discussing, such as green tea and how that can be used in helping you burn fat. With that, let's get started. Okay, so we can't neglect the basics here. No matter what supplements you take, Roxyline or whatever products you're finding online, what's the other one called? There's Roxyline, and then I've taken it. It's Roxyline and then something, forget what it's called. Hydroxycut. So if you're taking Roxyline or Hydroxycut, I do recommend that you work on the basics before you start taking these things, because if you're just taking it and you're not working on exercise or diet, it will have very little effect on you. So if you are taking these things, please make sure that you're also exercising efficiently and also dieting right. So let's work on just dieting, and how we're going to stress this topic is by analyzing what you consume the first thing you wake up to what you're putting in your body when you go to sleep. All right, so we'll compare and contrast how you yourself would diet versus what I would do. Okay, so my first thing is when I wake up in the morning, I'm starving and I'm going to keep it that way. Okay, sometimes I'll cheat a little bit and I'll have a breakfast. Breakfast would be eggs, protein shake, something, kind of high caloric. Other days, most days for me are starving days. So I'm fasting and I want to keep fasting. Why? Well, because when you're sleeping, you're not consuming any calories, one would think, right? At least you're sleepwalking and then you're just eating whatever you find in the kitchen. But for 90% of the population, we're not doing that. And we're starving throughout most of the night. And so we want to keep our bodies starving because it has nothing to consume besides our fat storage. So we want to keep that going. We're going to consume more fat storage right when we wake up until we have our first meal. So I like to keep that process going. On top of that, I'll go to the gym. So when I'm fasting, I'm not consuming anything. I'll put at most water or the supplement we're going to talk about, green tea. Green tea is one of those things that's like, it's found in a lot of different products. You might find it in, again, those products that we talked about, like, Roxyline or Hydroxycut. But we don't really know, what is green tea doing? Why is it effective? Why would someone like me want to use it in order to lose weight in a short period of time? For two reasons. It has caffeine, which is one of those things that's going to help us lose weight. And it also has something called catechins. And these catechins will induce a state in our body of burning fat. We want something called beta oxidation. Okay, so through this process, we're going to kind of help facilitate our body into burning fat more effectively, more efficiently. All right, especially if it's the only thing I'm putting in my body first thing in the morning. I'm going to go to the gym in order to work this out. All right, so that's kind of like a little trick, a little effective tool you can utilize. So when is the best to go to the gym? Right when you wake up. Why? Because you have nothing in your body. Your body's going to use the fat storage in order to kind of like energize your workout. So if you're trying to burn muscle, it's a different story. All right. We're just talking about fat burning here, because if you're trying to build muscle, you would want something in your body when you go work out. Why? Because the energy storage, we'll say preservation is different versus someone who's trying to lose weight versus someone who's trying to anabolically gain weight, gain muscle mass in a workout. All right. But this is strictly for those who want to lose weight. We're going to go fasted. We're going to go starving. We're going to go to our workout. We're going to have water and green tea. And that's all we're going to have. You can also have some other, like supplements we talked about, Roxyline, Hydroxycut. I do recommend you, talk to your provider before you go on these things. If you suffer from something like, some sort of heart disease or kind of anything arterial related or any kidney problems, you would want to consult your provider before you go ahead and start a regimen like this. Because again, of the caffeine and the other kind of metabolites that you're putting in your body can have a deleterious effect on the overall, your overall workout. So Keep that in mind if that is you. But yeah, it's going to be an effective tool that we're going to use in order to burn fat efficiently, effectively, in just a short period of time. In a moment, I'm going to be showing you a dramatic fat loss that I had in just 6 months' time. I know 6 months can seem a little bit of a while, but again, I was dieting effectively. Sometimes, kind of cheating my way. I'd have a weekend where I'd be drinking or I'd be eating a lot of, but in 6 months' time, I did lose weight. And you could probably even do it in less time if you're very, very strict on this. And if you're not also taking some other, you know, the forbiddens we'll talk about, such as androgens. It is a natural way to lose weight following these steps. Okay. So fasted in the morning, fasted cardio, some green tea products, and limiting your caloric intake. So back talking again about that. So let's say, after I have my fasted workout, come back home and I'm having my protein shake. Am I eating anything with my protein shake? Yes and no. Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. Okay, sometimes I'll have a day where I just have a protein shake and that's it. That's all I'm going to eat. Okay, is a protein shake. All right, now realize that might be a little hard. Okay, because you might try to supplement this later in your day with some, high calorie, and then that's when you don't want to have it. It's like 5 p.m., 6 p.m. If you're starving and you hadn't eaten anything and you say, screw it, I'm gonna have that cheeseburger, I'm gonna have that, whatever it is. You're consuming these calories later in the day, your metabolism's slower, your body's gonna try to use that and accumulate that into your fat cells. And you actually, might if you're exercising in the morning, you might not gain anything, you might not lose anything. So that's where you kind of have to balance this out. You kind of need to practice self-restraint a lot, a lot. This is where it's going to be a tough battle because the battle is very much mental as well as physical. You're going to be exercising, sometimes doing 2 a days, a regimen of, cardio in the morning and then cardio in the evening. So you want to keep that extreme there because again, when we consume calories in the morning, okay, we consume calories at night. The worst time to consume calories is in the nighttime. Why? Because we have no burning. There's no burning being done. We're going to use that all for storage for tomorrow or during sleep. So it's important that if you do consume calories or if you're feeling hungry, consume something in the morning, not something in the evening. Now, if you have the self-restraint, if you have the power, the mental focus to not consume anything, then I really recommend you don't. Okay, so consuming something like, something that's not, even if it's something like just, broccoli and chicken, if it depends on what time you're consuming that. If you're having it right after your workout, not so much a big deal. All right. It's best you have it as early as possible, even before your workout. That way you're burning it, you're using it during the workout and not after, because then we're just kind of using it for storage or using it for repair, which is fine. That's why I say it's like as long as it makes sense, kind of physically, on where you locate, where you allocate this meal. So always be thinking of where you allocate these calories in terms of, your own physiology. If I just finished working out, I'm going to use this meal in order to supplement the repair and the recovery process. Again, I can't be having cheeseburgers and fries, but I'm going to be having something healthy to kind of, facilitate that process. Or, if we do consume something high caloric like burgers and fries, we're going to do it before our workout. So that way, when I go work out, I'm burning that off. I'm using that. I'm not burning fat, but I'm burning that off because or we might, if we just, do a very, very heavy workout, which sometimes you might need to, or we can do it 2 a day. If you do consume something like that, an effective approach would be something like a 2 a day, which is, morning workout and an evening workout. And if we want to get into that kind of like a regimen, you can feel free to message me and we'll talk more about how you can use that in your own workout regimen to lose weight. But talking more considering the approach of diet and exercise. So again, if your diet is 3 meals a day, you're going to want to cut at least 2 of those meals out to where it's only 1 meal a day. And sometimes you won't even have meals. So one of my approaches, my first day, I won't eat anything. Okay. And I mean anything. I'm only consuming liquids. So it'll be a protein shake in the morning, a protein shake after my workout, and a protein shake later in the evening. And my protein shakes are very, very lean. I'll mostly consume it'll have milk, whey protein, casein protein, kind of a longer term protein that you'll use kind of to facilitate that hunger. But you will get hungry, and you will. The problem is fighting that hunger. And then I'll have days where, again, my next day, for example, I'll go fasted in the morning, then I'll have something after my workout, and I won't eat anything at night. And then I'll have another day where, again, I eat 2 meals. So this will kind of like range. It'll vary. You can vary it too. It doesn't matter as long as you know you're not consuming an excessive amount of calories in one day. Because then, you would want to approach a 2 a day mentality. And you can even do 2 a days consistently as long as you're not overworking your body. So it's all about how you manage this approach. You can manage it differently. You don't have to stay kind of like consistent in the approach of just like fasting, fasting, fasting. You can vary this approach dynamically. And that's fine if you do it that way. It's even better if you do it that way because, again, our bodies are very efficient at identifying patterns. So if your body identifies this pattern, it's going to repeat this process to where it gets more efficient at it anyway. So it's good that you vary it. So I tend to vary it very frequently. It's always a mystery. My body doesn't know if I'm consuming calories today or if if I am or if I am not. So today, for example, all I had was 1 meal in the morning. So might I eat later in the day? It's possible, but maybe I could fight that restraint to where I have nothing the rest of the day. And I'll just have a protein shake after my workout. And that's literally it. So I have days like that. And I know that was an effective day and I won't need to do it 2 a day. And there I'm burning calories. Or maybe I will eat something and then I'll go and work out a second time. So it's all about how you can manage this. Obviously you have busy schedules, you work a lot. So it's good to identify this and have a morning workout. Before you go to work, make sure you have a morning workout. When you get home from work, have a second workout. Okay. If you can do this, good. If you can't, then just have the one workout in the evening. It's kind of hard to wake up in the morning for the workout, especially if it's a workout. So you don't want to do those. Those are difficult to come by. So, but be able to identify when you can and when you can't. So it's all about time managing this busy schedule of yours. All right. So we talked about diet. Okay. Exercise. What type of cardio will you be doing? It's important to identify, okay, for our females are good because, you're not going to practice a lot of resistance training, and the resistance training you do practice will be something of a low resistance workout. And that's something dynamically that might change depending on what kind of athlete you are for females. So if you're a heavy lifter, you're going to want to place most of the workout in the beginning. Again, the resistance training, if you're for example, a female power lifter, that powerlifting is going to be in the beginning of your workout. Okay. And we're going to end with the cardio session. If you're not a power lifter, just a female who's trying to, kind of gain some lean and some resistance training, you can, again, in the beginning of your workout, and we're going to end with cardio. It's always ending with cardio that we're going to try and facilitate. And if you don't want to do any of that, just start with cardio, end with cardio. Okay. The idea is to have a regimen where it's quick, efficient, and effective. All right. So what do I mean by that? We want to limit our workouts to mostly an hour. Okay. In the morning, at least. We don't want to go too heavy because, again, it could kind of like move into the rest of the day. And we don't want that to happen. So we want to keep it as low strain, low energy as possible, but be effective. So again, we're going to get into that. Low resistance training, whatever training it is, 15 to 20 minutes max. And I want to stress that. Do not go too heavy into the resistance training. And I was really stressing this when I was working out, losing weight for 6 months. Okay. So even when I was trying to lose weight, I wasn't going heavy into the resistance. I wasn't doing an hour and a half of just lifting. All right. I was doing at most 20 to 30 minutes of lifting. And then I would do the rest of my workout, whether that's 30 minutes to 40 minutes, even sometimes 2 hours of just cardio. And I mean just cardio. Guys, you will not burn fat with just resistance training. I'm sorry, unless you're on testosterone, unless you're taking some androgens, you're not going to burn fat with just resistance training, unless it's some form of resistance training where it's some circuit or there's no rest in between sets, or you make it that way. Unless it's some sort of CrossFit thing, you're not going to burn fat. The way you burn fat is getting on the treadmill, getting on the Stairmaster, doing your runs, doing your stairs. There is no way you're going to do it with just resistance training, or it's going to take you a very long time to do it that way. Trust me, because I've been doing this, and the most effective, efficient way is to find some HIIT training. So what I mean by HIIT training, it's high intensity interval training. So this training will be the best for you in terms of losing weight in a short period of time. Okay, you will find the most efficient results with this. So how do we do this? How do we approach this method? All right. So after you do your low resistance training, 15 to 20 minutes max, we go to our treadmill, we go to our Stairmaster, and we're going to try to hit 80% of our max heart rate. How do we do that? Okay. So what's our max heart rate? We're going to get 220 minus your age. All right. So I'm 28, going to be 29 this year. So 220 minus 228 is 192. 180% of 192 is whatever, 180 or something around that range. So I'm going to try and hit that when I'm going to go to do the HIIT cardio. Okay, 80% of that. So 180, I'm going to try and hit that. So yeah, obviously I don't have a watch or one of those Apple watches, but I can kind of measure it when I go some of those treadmills have that where they measure your heart rate. You're obviously not going to get that right if you're just, sprinting on a treadmill, but you kind of get the idea if you slow down and you put your handlebar and your hands on the railing and identifies 167, or you can even measure your heart rate like this and you can multiply, go to 15, multiply by 4. Kind of a hard thing to do anyway, but in case you want to get your heart rate going that way, I rarely do that, to be honest with you. I just go and I hit the obviously the intensity on the treadmill, and I go to like 8 or 9. Okay, from there I know that I'm going to be out of breath in just 30 seconds to a minute. So I'll try to hit a minute. If I can't hit a minute, I'm out of breath, I'm tired, I'm going to slow down, I'm going to go back to my resting. Okay, so my resting might be like an intensity of 4 or 3. And there I'm resting, and I might rest for a minute or 2 minutes. Okay, and I hit it again, and I do it again. And I do this repetitively for at least 30 to 40 minutes. All right, there I have hit my HIIT training goal. Okay, where I'm going to be burning fat the rest of the day, the rest of the evening, and the rest of the day I will be burning fat, and I'll be using my session efficiently, effectively, and this will help me lose weight in just a short period of time. Again, because I am burning fat the rest of the day, opposed to someone who's going to go at a 160 heart rate, okay, which isn't their 80%, by the way, or it might be their 80%, but you understand what I mean. It's only, you're keeping the dynamics very efficient. By the way, if you do this over time, right, the 160 heart rate, your body's going to get efficient at it anyway. It might burn less fat over time. So if I do, for example, people who jog for 30 minutes and they do the 160 heart rate, over time, their body understands the pattern and it identifies it, and it accommodates to that. So that's why you always need to be switching it up. You always got to keep your body guessing in some notion. So if I'm going to do HIIT training today, I'm going to do HIIT training tomorrow, but I'm going to do a different type of HIIT training. My HIIT training might be on the Stairmaster. Tomorrow might be on the treadmill. The day after, it might be in the park. The day after that, who knows? You got to keep it guessing, because your body does identify these patterns. It does recognize it, and it might burn fat, more efficiently, even, less fat than you would otherwise, because it's not a new thing that your body's not used to. It's like, oh, you already did this yesterday. I know how to do it. So, what's the point of burning fat here? So obviously you'll burn fat, but I'm saying like it might like plateau and then kind of like go down sloping, kind of if you identify in a graph form. But you want to stick to these methods, okay? So we talked about a lot today. We talked about green tea. We talked about your diet. We talked about exercising, how to use it effectively. As long as you apply these things and you do it well and you do it consistently over time, you can have days where you cheat. That's fine, or even a couple of days. If you go back to it, I promise you, if you stick to it, you will lose weight. It might take you a while. It took me 6 months to do it. And I still want to lose weight. I want to continue losing weight. So I'm going to keep practicing these methods. All right. Over time, I know that in another 6 months, I will look entirely different than when I did before. So I'm going to be showing you the difference right now of when I was to versus how I am now. So if you can identify your patterns and how to change them efficiently, I promise you'll see a difference in just a matter of a month. Okay, you will see a huge change in your weight. I believe I lost from 20 to 30 pounds in just 6 months. You can obviously lose it faster. All right. I was cheating, man. I was every weekend I would be doing something, whether that was eating bad or drinking or, going out or something like that. I'd be doing something to where it wasn't exactly my own, what I'm preaching right now. So just realize that as long as you stick to it and you stick to it every day, you will lose weight. Okay. So you want to practice the fasting. The fasting is important. The paradigm is shifted. It used to be like, 3 meals a day or 6 meals a day. It used to be that you eat every 2 hours and you lose weight that way because you speed up your metabolism. It's like, that's all bullshit, right? The idea is that you fast because think of how our ancestors did it, right? They never had food. We have a surplus of food nowadays. So we need to go back to these old times where we fasted. I mean, we're supposed to really fast for days at a time. Okay. As long as we have water, we're fine. And a multivitamin, right? As long as we have those things, we can go fasted for days, for days, really. I mean, we can go fasted for months even. But, again, we're neglecting the primary principle here, which is that we're human. And so we're hungry, and that's fine. And we need to supplement ourselves with something, all right? Because food is food and food is delicious. But again, don't kind of take advantage of this. Use it to your own willingness to be a better individual in terms of your physical, in terms of your physicality. So you're going to want to practice these methods. You're going to want to repeat them and stay consistent with them. Okay, that's one of the hardest things that you might abandon this method, but I like it because it varies. You get it dominated. I'm not controlling you. I'm not telling you to do this and that. I'm kind of giving you these tools that you can put into your own scheduling and use them in your own way. So, the fasted cardio, for example, you might not do it every day. You might not do it at all, but you have the evening cardio you can do. You have the fasting you can do all day, all these different things. You are your own person, so you're going to figure it out when you have a busy schedule. So if my schedule's 7 to 3 every day, I'm going to wake up at 4 in the morning and do my fasted workout until it's 5 or 6, get ready for work. Okay. If I'm, start at 9 a.m., I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. and I'm going to do, it's all these things that you need to kind of identify in your own regimen and make it better for yourself. If 4 in the morning is too, which sounds crazy, really, because what you need to be in bed by like 7, and who the hell goes to bed at 7? So again, identify these things and kind of work your way around it, because these are effective methods. A fasted cardio in the morning is a way better way to lose weight than a fasted cardio. Not a fasted cardio in the evening because you probably won't be fasted in the evening, let's be honest, but is way better than just an evening cardio session and then go to bed. Why? Because you have nothing in your stomach. You're going to go right to burning fat in the morning. So obviously a fasted cardio session in the morning is the best way to lose weight, but it's very hard. It's very difficult. Why? Because you got to work. You got to go to work. If you don't have to go to work, this would be very, very easy. So again, identify these things and you will become stronger. I mean, imagine waking up at 4 in the morning to go have a fasted cardio session. It's ridiculous. I mean, who does that? You have to be out of your mind. So will you be out of your mind for this? Most people won't, but try to be. And you'll lose weight even faster than 6 months. But practice this method and you will lose weight. Depends on who you are, how your diet is. You'll lose weight a lot more effectively if you've never done this before. Right? Because if you've done this before, your body already knows, oh, remember when you did this? I already know. You're going to lose weight. You're going to 10 pounds and then, that's it. It's over. But if you've never done this, you might see a huge benefit from it. So it's important to, I think I've talked long enough on this, but you know, it's something that I practice, something that I preach, and I want you to try it. And I think that you'll see a huge benefit from it because it's something that I practice and it works out for me. So I'm sure it works out for other people too. But yeah, that being said, if you have any questions or even like like if you have a schedule that is very time consuming and you can't find the time, send it to me and we can kind of work something out. It's like, well, we can work out this day. You can do fasted cardio here. You can diet here, you know, and we can kind of eliminate obstacles for you to where you're doing this every day. You might have days where you cheat. You might have days where you're not so good, or you don't even work out at all. And that's fine. So we're human. These are going to be our errors, and we're gonna have to try and work through them. But it's best you work through them with someone who understands, because I've been working out for 14, 15 years, and it doesn't get any harder than, when you get up there and you're just like, is this really it? And I mean, I've been there. I contemplate not going to the gym anymore. I've contemplated not just like, what is this all for? It's like, it's your own humanity. It's your own mental stability. For me, it's a kind of way to stabilize myself into a realm where I feel kind of at home, at peace with myself. So yeah, feel free to message me, comment, or anything like that, so we can kind of work something out. But that being said, thanks for watching.